What's up, YouTube? It's your boy O'Dane with Tidy Up. Today I'm gonna show you guys how I made $200 in 10 minutes. So this is a 2016 Chevy Colorado, and I'm doing a transmission fluid exchange on it. And as you can see, I got my electric pump going through a little top right there. You do have to take the Y pipe down for some clearance to get the pan down. Once you suck out some of the fluid, because you don't want, and that's a little plunger there. You pull that top plunger up, and then that little rubber piece comes out. You stick your little thing in there, and you turn her on, and here we go. So yeah, I got this pump off of Amazon. I got it wired in right now to a Milwaukee 12-volt adapter. So I put my M12 battery in there and power it on because it's a 12-volt pump. I also got another one like this for oil changes and stuff like that, but today we doing transmission. Yep, so got it going into this little green bucket here. Got a little indicator, kind of like to indicate how many quarts came out. See that fluid there? That fluid is black. Remember to change your trans fluid, guys. It's not a forever thing. Yeah, that's my other one right there. So yeah, we're gonna let this pump out and do its thing. You see, I got frayed wires right there. All right. Yeah, that's the battery right there. The M12 battery wired into the pump. Mad convenient. Mad convenient. Don't know what I'd do without it. But yeah, we're gonna let this do its thing. See a little bit of metal shavings in there. Then we're gonna take the pan down once we get most of this fluid up out of there. Alright guys, you can see it's starting to finish. Just move it around a little bit. Try and get every little bit out of there. You know what I mean? Do a little shimmy. Alright, and once you're done, you can take it out and then proceed to taking the pan down. Yeah, so the pan is held up by all these 10mm bolts. You're just going to want to go around and, take them out with a nice 10mm with an extension. That little plug back there, that's a fill indicator drain. I'm not going to touch that shit. I don't want to, sometimes you start touching stuff you don't really have to, and then you mess around and find out on cars. You see like that bolt over there. Messed around and found out that last one had a break. So yeah, I'm just going around. I'm gonna take off all these 10mm screws. Yeah, this job's a little bit of a pain in the ass, a little bit, just because the exhaust got to come down. I don't know why Chevy did this. They definitely could have moved that back a little bit to give us a little bit more clearance, but they never make it easy. That's why I got to charge a little bit more. You see what I'm saying? Alright, now the pan is coming down. You see, boom, nice and easy. Look, that pan empty. That thing works wonders. So yeah, that black thing there is a filter. I'm gonna replace the filter too. So now I'm gonna take it down about that hole right there, and all you gotta do is pull it down. It's pretty sturdy in there, you know what I'm saying? So you just gotta pull it down. Some fluid usually comes out, but my pump is elite. That thing sucked everything up out of there. Might as well could call this a flush. Nah, I'm just kidding. This is just an exchange. But yeah, take that out. Boom. And then I'm going to show you the little gasket that's up in there. So the box does come with one of these replacement gaskets for the filter. I'm going to show you. So up in here, you see that little gasket? Usually you're supposed to change that, but just inspect it. If it's good, I'm telling you, don't start messing with stuff and finding out. Because as you see, I'm doing this on the road. We get stuck on the road or we can't move this car, man. Yeah. So this is the pan here. You just gonna want to clean it up. You see all that metal shavings? That's the magnet right there. And pretty much what that does is when the transmission fluid is going through the system back to the pan, it catches any metal shavings. And as you can see, this one is filled up. But to be honest, it's pretty common. Like I have a 05 on the Odyssey, and trust me, like little metal shaving is pretty common. You just want to, do your due diligence. Change the transmission fluid. So yeah, clean the pan up. Make sure it's nice and tidy up. Go back on the bottom of the thing. Yeah, this is the new filter right here. Pan is clean. Magnet's clean. We're not touching that overfill plug at all because we know how much goes back in here. And we don't want to find out. That next thing you know, that thing be the thing that leak. You know what I mean? So stop. You don't. If you only gotta touch something, don't touch it. So now we back under here. I'm gonna snap the filter back in. You know, clean her up a little bit. And like I said, it goes right back in that hole that I showed you before, that little gasket, and it's sturdy. So once you push it back up in there, it's not gonna move. It should feel sturdy. You see, I'm over here checking the sturdiness, how sturdy the filter gets. So yeah, it's sturdy. And then we just take these 10 millimeters and we putting it back up in there. You know, that gasket also that comes down is a reusable gasket. You can put some black RTV on. You know, if you wanna ease your mind a little bit. You know, want to be sure of no leaks. You put a little RTV on there, but that gasket is reusable. Just clean it up real good. Clean the pan up real good. The surface real good. And then just put that thing back up there. So yeah, I'm just going to put up all these 10 millimeter nuts back up there. You know, we're going to torque them to however much torque Mr. Milwaukee says they go. Nah, I'm just kidding, guys. I'm a pro at this. Don't do what I do. If you got access to a 3/8 torque wrench, torque them things down. And then you see I flipped it around, cleaned out the hose, and now I got the other end going inside of here. And then I'm gonna turn it on and put that red fluid up in there. Look, it's such a big difference. You remember that fluid that came out was black? This is actually what transmission fluid is supposed to look like. If you didn't know, just letting you know. This is such a weird way to do this too, by the way. Like, they could have just gave, I don't know, like a transmission dipstick. Like, there's so many things that they could just kept from old model cars that they just changing over, and it's trash, to be honest. Like, it doesn't really make any difference. All it does is like planned obsolescence. How do they say the word? Planned obsolescence. Anyways, like and subscribe.